up? My name is Jeff Rolka. I want to thank you for checking out my video. I have not done an actual quick tip video in such a long time, and I equally have not discussed glottal attacks in a long time either. So we're going to do that right now. Thank you if you've chosen to subscribe. If you haven't yet, I hope you'll do so now. There's lots of ways to support this channel. Those are in the description. I might have a future as an auction salesman, maybe. Probably not. Anyway, glottal attacks. Usually they occur when there's an imbalance in the voice and we're really trying to put a hard emphasis on the beginning of that phrase when the first word of the phrase begins with a vowel. So like if you're saying I, that's happening there, I, that's a glottal attack. In that range of my voice, they are fatiguing and they will tire me out kind of prematurely. And they can induce a little bit of additional wear and tear on my voice that might catch up with me in the long run if you catch my drift. In other words, it can cause problems the longer I perpetuate that behavior. It becomes way worse when we're using a lot of velocity and a lot of force. If you're into belting and that kind of thing, and you're doing those at or near your secondo passaggio, they can fatigue you and tire out your voice really quickly. They can necessitate needing some time off, none of which we really want. So we want to choose when we're going to use glottal attacks. In order to choose, we have to be able to avoid them. And that begins in your daily vocalization practice. Consonants in front of your vowels will offer varying degrees of relief from the use of the glottal attack. Most notably, M's. You see those a lot in vocalizations. It's nearly impossible to put a glottal attack when you're starting with an M. From there, we might move on to H's. Now, the H adds a certain challenge. However, there is a benefit in that challenge. The H separates the vocal folds. This is what prevents the glottal attack. Again, when using the H, it's nearly impossible to put a glottal attack on the beginning of that phrase. However, we are starting with the vocal folds separated. Now this is a challenge. However, we have to learn to adduct the vocal folds efficiently anyway. So, if in your practice of avoiding glottal attacks, you get that H in there, try to minimize that H as much as you can. And before you know it, you'll be able to start those phrases with an immediacy of sound that is pretty compelling. No, it's not a, but it's also not going to fatigue you or cause any kind of long-term problems should you perpetuate the behavior. It's a nice, clean, efficient, well-coordinated articulation. It's well-coordinated because the airflow and the vocal folds are working together to come together at the right moment to give you the immediacy of that sound. That means that you can choose when to use those glottal attacks, or when we choose to do them, we sometimes call them glottal strokes. And the most common place in popular music to use a glottal stroke or a glottal attack is when you have two vowels back to back, either one at the end of a phrase and one that begins a phrase, or in the middle of a phrase, and you want to make sure that that second word is easily understood. So like if I were singing I am, that can easily bleed into one another. I am, a little glottal attack there can give you some separation. I am. That was probably more than I would typically use, but you get the idea. Quite frankly, in my sort of artistic pursuits, I probably still wouldn't even bother with the glottal attack there. I would only do it when the vowel sound that is ending the phrase and the vowel sound of the next word are the same or so similar as to be indistinguishable. That's when I would put that glottal stroke in there to make sure that we've got good definition. So there is your total quick tip. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments section. I'd suggest finding me on Twitter, but honestly, I don't check it all that much. So the comments are where it's at, and I'm very good about that. You can also find me via my website, jeffrolka.com. Thank you so much for watching. Take really good care of your voices. Enjoy singing, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.